Hi and welcome to all the racing enthusiasts around the globe joining us for this pre-recorded show, which is recorded on Monday morning for Tuesday the 5th of December, where racing takes place at Turffontein on the Standside track. So lovely to be racing on the Standside track at Turffontein. Let's get straight into the business, and on the line is Alistair Cohen. Alistair, looking forward to the meeting at Turffontein.
Yeah, nice card. Good day, Sheldon. Good day to all the viewers. 8 races. Card first gets underway at 12:20. Overall, wouldn't describe it as a marquee Tuesday at Turffontein. I think what's coming up this weekend with the World Sports Betting Grand Heritage, even next week, I see Cousin Casey is nominated in the Pinnacle Stakes. So I think we're saving some good stuff for the days to come. But we'll get through this card. I think that the place accumulator of tips has got a pretty good chance.
Right, the first race is the opening leg of the Bipot. So for the Bipot players, number 6, Lady Crusade, is the odds-on favourite from 11 to 10, down 8 to 10. The filly taking on some of the boys here. And just looking at those last two efforts after a long break, should be just about ready to win, Alistair?
Yeah, I'm on that side, Sheldon. Peak run, the third run after a break, as you mentioned. The first run back was very pleasing on Allard Steel Road on a Mission Charity Mile there, when finishing third to Grape Shot. There've been a couple of winners out of that form. Ran a little bit flat the next time, but I think was drawn on the wrong side of the course. Maybe also that run came a little bit too soon. So 6 Lady Crusade, easily the horse that they need to beat. The biggest and only danger is number 3 Bob, who goes back to 1,000 metres, showed pace last time. That might offer a bit of help for the son of William Longsword, but they definitely got number 6 Lady Crusade to beat in a very shallow maiden. I don't see much coming from the first timer, and I don't see too many dangers outside of those two.
Well, that'll take us on to race number 2, and as you mentioned, your suggested bet will be the place accumulator, 12.55. And talking about first-timers, number 8, Lovegrass, is a joint 5-2 favourite with number 1, Winter Path. Number 9, Smashing, is at 3-1. And just looking at your place accumulator, I believe you're going with numbers 2 and 9, Alistair?
Yeah, 2 and 9 for me, and what could be quite a complicated maiden here, Sheldon. The breeding of number 8, Love Grass, is interesting. The Mother Euros of Girls, a stakes winner. But I'm going to settle on the Ethernator form to at least get us through this race. Glowari, number 2 on the card, finished in front of number 9, Smashing, when they met 18 days earlier. But I think the form might turn around. I like the way Smashing was running on last time. I think with the run under the belt, she might improve past number 2, Glowari, who, to be fair, was having her first run in Joburg. So there could be any amount of improvement or a little bit of improvement to come from number 2, Glowari. So I think we'll be safe with those two in the place accumulator. I've got a little bit of value here, and that's in the form number 4, Enchanting Lady. She wasn't too far behind Glowari and Smashing in that last run, and I think that, coming back from that long layoff, number 4, Enchanting Lady, might have a little bit more in the tank to at least close the deficit and potentially get into the first 4 for trifectas and quartets.
Great stuff. As we move on to race number 3, which will be the opening leg of the all-important Pick 6, and Alistair's gone in the place accumulator numbers 1, 4 and 5. Now, Alistair, let's kick off with number 2, DJ Junior, who is the current 5-2 favourite. It's clear to see he's had a interrupted career, but his rating seems to be quite positive, being a 5-year-old.
Yeah, there's quite a bit to like about number 2, DJ Junior, but I've left him out, Shell, and that's a big penalty that he's carrying. You're off the track, so there's certainly no mean feat to come out and win in the manner that he did. He was under sufferance, so hence that big penalty that he has to deal with. Taking one after a break, I'm not saying that he's beatable because he'd be in my pick 6, but I'm just looking elsewhere for horses that might sort of have the edge on him, with the obvious issues that the son of Diesel Jet has got. He also goes 1,800 metres for the first time, although he hit the line running last time out. I still think that there might be a couple of vulnerabilities. So I've gone 1, 4 and 5 for Banner Bridge for obvious sentimental reasons. His last workout was good. Don't know if he's quite at his best. He's been off for a while. while. He's had his African horse sickness and all that, so he might run flat, but I'm excited to have Pierre Stradom on board. So, look, I'd loathe for him to go and run into the first three and punters go out on that suggestion. I'll be lynched. So he goes in, but obviously 1 and 5 are the backup. Number 1, Hoslo Grande. First one as a gelding for me was good. I think he hit the front a little bit too soon last time out on Betway Summer Cup Day, and Jet Dynasty ended up running past him as well as a few others. He'll be better with that run under the belt. I've always liked Hoslo Grande. And then number 5, the front line. I believe there's something about him. Also, third run after a break, Gavin Larena gets on, the son of Lancaster Bomber. His record on this horse is fair, and I think that he's the type of horse who will improve as his 3-year-old career goes on. So I'm expecting number 5, the front line, to go well. He's actually my top choice in the race, the 3-year-old.
That'll take us onto the opening leg of the jackpot. Race number 4, Jackpot 1, leg number 1, which will be run over 1,800 meters. Your numbers are 3 and 8 over the 1,800 meter trip. Now let's touch on number 3, Spring in Heaven. After running second to Mary's Green Light as 1 from 1 course and distance. Went up 3 points for that second to Mary's Green Light. Are you a little bit concerned about that, or you think this is the right type of field?
It's the right type of field, Sheldon. I mean, that is an obvious concern, the fact that she got £3 for being a loser last time out. And that wasn't a weak apprentice fillies and mares race. And she takes on boys here. But what's the quality of the field? There's not much quality in this field. So that's got to give you a bit of hope if you like number 3, Spring in Heaven. But I must confess, she's more of a backup to my first selection. I was very, very keen on number 8, Lebeccio. And the only reason why I've tread a little bit wearily with Lebeccio is because I've been with him so many times and he's let me down. In my book, he's not far away from winning. He's my top selection, but I'm just a little bit gun-shy. This is the type of thing that would appeal to you. His highest rating was an 80. He's down to a 60. So that's a very generous drop. He even dropped out of his last run, got dropped another £3 for being beaten 2.5 lengths by Little Prince, which was his best run in a while. So 8, Lebeccio, my top choice. The only reason why I haven't banked him in the place accumulator is because I'm a little bit gun-shy with him, because he's let me down before. But I'm convinced that if it's not time to strike on this Tuesday card, it's very, very close to Dancing Day with number 8, Lebeccio.
Well, you know me too well, Alistair, because the 10-1 and 12-1, we're in the same corner there with number 8, Lebeccio. If he reproduces his earlier form, you found the value, and hopefully we both come out smiling after Lebeccio. Hopefully comes through to win at around 10-1. Stepping on the gas to race number 5, I believe number 8, Courageous Cat, has been taken out. So on the betting site, he is still in the betting, but I believe number 8, Courageous Cat, is scratched, which means number 10, Prince of Green, will now be the new favourite, probably at around 28-10.
Yeah, that's a blow, because I had Courageous Cat in and he got taken out 15 minutes before we started this preview. So that throws a bit of a spanner among the works, and now I'm left with number 10, Prince of Green. I had 8 and 10 in my play. So I'm going to replace 8 with number 11, Mondial, or 50 kilos. So I'm going with the bottom weights. I'm going with the 3-year-olds now. 10, Prince of Green, good run to Esquivel last time. That was over a distance, in my book, short of his best. I think the son will give me the green light. Another one having his peak run, 3rd run after a rest. I know Paul Matchett's got hopes that he will get into some feature races. I don't know whether he's quite a Group 1 horse to be able to get into the World Sports Betting South African Classic, but potentially a tilted a race like the Tony Ruffle, which is now called the Got the Green Light Stakes. So number 10, Prince of Green, nice test for him, but off a light weight, I think that he's capable. And then number 11, Mondial, that last run was all wrong. He went to the front with blinkers on. The blinkers come off. If it was the blinkers that was the issue last time out, and I'm inclined to believe that it was, then number 11, Mondial, is going to be very dangerous for 50 kilos. He's got a fair amount of ability as well. And, I just think that the blinkers coming off the Son of Flower Alley is bound to treat him well.
So there we have it. Alistair has replaced number 8, Courageous Cat, with number 11, Mondial. So if you are playing those perms, numbers 10 and 11, the 3-year-old youngsters are the 2 horses Alistair will be leaning towards. Now let's move on to race number 6, which is over the 1,600 meter trip. You bankering number 7, Sweet Basil, who is currently second favourite at 28-10. Number 1, Sharapova, is the outright favourite at 22-10. And then if you're looking at number 3, Back to the Future, who beat Sweet Basil last time out, went up 5 points, but gets 1.5 kilograms off. So at 8-1 and 10-1, there might be a little bit of value there. And I'm just looking one other horse, number 5, QC Azul. So it's not cut and dried, but you've obviously seen something in number 7, Sweet Basil, the way that this daughter of Flower Alley finishes off.
Yeah, sure. I actually watched her last run in Stuart Pettigrew's office, and before the race, he says she's going to need it. He'll be happy if she runs it. Well, not if she runs a place. He was obviously optimistic that she'll win, but he was of the opinion that she needed the run badly and sort of slow burn for the next couple of runs. And he was so happy with the run from Sweet Basil, as you would be. Got £3 for running second to Back to the Future. Ironically, Back to the Future does still have the advantage at the weights, but I think that Sweet Basil, the fact that she needed that last run, I think it's time to go with his daughter of Flower Alley. She beats a decidedly weak field on her maiden, but she wasn't expected to win her maiden either. It's her first run over a mile. The half, in fact, the full sister, a filly called Pomanda, was placed in the Wilkebos Drift South African Oak. So the step up in distance, no issue. The further, the better. Probably a more reliable selection would have been number 1, Sharapova, because she's so consistent. But I think the improvement factors with number 7, Sweet Basil. So I think she'll turn it around with number 3, Back to the Future. Just bear in mind, Redu was a very awkward ride last time for Pierre Stradham, and he's still able to guide her home. So just keep her in your back pocket for pick sixes and jackpots.
As we step on to the 7th race, which is over 1,160 meters, so that'll obviously be down the straight, being the Turffontein stand-side track. You're going with numbers 2 and 4 here. Alistair, looking at race number 7, there's a few older horses who tried and tested, and then you got a horse like number 4, Forever in My Dreams, who's just come off a maiden, but has been rested 131 days. And it's quite interesting, 57.5 kilograms. And then you got a horse who's run in a lot stronger, like number 6, Simple, carrying the 56 kg. So this race is quite muddied.
Yeah, Sheldon, I think number 4, Forever in My Dreams, is a very, very good filly. You might remember I was all over her last time out when beating Blip Blip. I did that show with Graham Hawkins, and at the time she was an 11-2 shot, and I made her a banker in all bets. I know that was a weak race, but a horse like Boom Boom, who finished midfield, has come out and won. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for this filly because Candice Dawson was the underbidder on her, and she was devastated that she didn't go another step or two, although Alec Laird maintains that he had 350,000 for this daughter of Master of My Fate. He trained some of the family, and they were all good and all that. And I've spoken to Alec about her a few times, and he can't wait to put this filly over a mile. So this race does scream a starting point for this daughter of Master of My Fate for whatever plans Alec has for her, but I still think that the amount of quality that she has will certainly be enough to get her into the picture, if not winning, going very close. My backup's number 2, Lucy in the Sky. She'll come in a fit horse. Her last run was 7 days earlier. She stayed on nicely behind Peyton's Tears. She drops back to 1160, a trip that she's not won over before. A little bit of a worry, but Pilasande Mpoli takes her out for the first time on this well-performed daughter of Noble Tune. And you know what you're going to get from Lucy in the Sky. I think your record suggests that she'll run her heart out, as she always does. She might put the odd, she might fluff her lines from time to time. So I've gone with the young, and I've gone with the old in race number 7, 2 and 4 for me.
Radio, that takes us on to the lucky last, as they call it, race number 8. And only after the race you'll know if it's the lucky last or the losing last for all the punters out there. At the early time of recording, they got number 2, Edward Ra, at 14-10. Shortened from 16-10 down 14-10. And then you can basically get 5-1 and better the rest. Now, Alistair, number 2, Edward Ra, a 4-year-old. He came through last time out to win with flying colours. But when you look at the race, there's quite a few mystery horses for me, like number 1, Samuel Salt, number 3, King's Road, 4, Vegas High Rise, and number 5, Aravadicchio. So is he a 14-10 shot in your book?
No way he's a 14-10. I was just going to say, when you were going through the betting, 14-10's very, very skinny for a horse who just won a maiden, and a maiden that looks decidedly average. Calvin Abib takes her out on this Tony Peter train, son of Catcher in the Rye, who fractured a pelvis between breaks and obviously moving yards, and came out and won like a horse that's ready to go to group level. I mean, it was just a sensational win, but he's been given £9 for winning a weak maiden. This is a horse who couldn't beat Smelting. Smelting is rated in the 60s. I don't know. I mean, how much more improvement can he make? Because I think he will have to step up, especially with a weight of 61.5. So although I respect his chances, there's no way I can go in expecting Edward Rye to be an absolute good thing. You mentioned number 5, Aravadicio, much like the horse earlier on, Lebeccio. Aravadicio has been on my radar for such a long time, down to a rating of 81. I wish this was a 1400 for Aravadicio. If it was 1400 or a mile, I'd make him a very strong each-way play, but a little bit dicey over 1160. And then number 13, In the Ether. She'll be doing her best to it late. She gets ridden for luck, but she's got a nice light weight, and she seems to be in good heart at the moment. So In the Ether, definitely contender, comes in just on the handicap of a 64 in this MR80. I know that she runs against boys, but she quits herself nicely time and time again. She's run against boys, in fact, in 3 of her last 4 starts, so that doesn't worry me too much because her numbers are good to recommend. So 2, 5, and 8 for me. Like I said, if it was a 1400 or a mile, Aravadicio for me, strong each way. In fact, I'd even have a good win bet on Aravadicio. The fact it's a sprint, I think, opens the door for Edward Rye and also In the Ether.
Well, there you go. The 16 to 1 about number 5, Aravadicio. I don't think that's going to last too long. If you go back in his form lines, second to Royal Victory, behind Laguna Verde, Thunderstone, Perfect Witness, and some decent opposition. So a horse that you have to throw into the play. Although a bit on the sharp side, definitely worth throwing into your each-way calculations. Alistair, your suggested bet for the day is the place accumulator. So we are going to bring that on screen. And if you wouldn't mind going through all your selections for your followers out there.
Yeah, just for those followers, it's strange. I mean, you'll be able to identify with us. When you go through a card the first time and do your selections and you think you're onto a good thing, and then suddenly you start talking about it in this type of preview format and you go, oh my word, I've actually misread that. And sometimes you go through a card and you think, wait, actually maybe I'm on the right track. I've suddenly got a vibe that I'm on the right track after discussing that with you. So that's good news. Hopefully it goes according to plan. The PA begins at 5 to 1. So in the first leg, I've got numbers 2 and 9, Glowari and Smashing, by 1, 4 and 5, Haslo Grande, Banner Bridge, and the front line by 3 and 8, Spring in Heaven and Lebeccio. Then in race 5, which is leg 4, for a place number 8 with number 11, so 10 and 11, the 2 are 50 kilos, Prince of Green and Mondial. By banker number 7, Sweet Basil, by numbers 2 and 4, Lucy in the Sky and Forever My Dreams, and the closer 2, Edward Rye, 5, Aravadicio, and 13, In the Ether.
Well, thanks very much, Alistair. As you mentioned, it's a midweek meeting, and looking at the card, it's quite open. But after we've chatted and we've gone through things, I'm now saying bring on the day, and hopefully we can bring home the money.
Brilliant. Looking forward to it, Sheldon. Thank you so much. Good weekend ahead again. We've got feature races all over the shop. PE Friday, Val Saturday, Hollywoodbets Kenilworth Sunday. The first grade one here in Cape Town this weekend was a wonderful day's racing. So onwards and upwards.
Thank you very much, Alistair. So Alistair Cohen on the line. Thanks very much for the input he puts in and all the hard work behind the scenes. And hopefully the horses will now do it for us on the racecourse.